Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob, and also known on Pyro Talk as the Winterport Pyro, and I'm going to show you my setup for my display for my mother's 85th birthday, and also for older sister who couldn't make it to the July 4th display that I had at my residence. We're located in Skowhegan, Maine, at my sister's property, my younger sister, and also the home of Bigelow Brewing Company. Believe it or not, I have a brewer in my family. Kind of a little advantageous for the free beer. Now we're coming up onto the shoot site, and this is basically the back part of our pasture. And let me focus in a little bit. And you'll see that I have some racks here. They're a 3-shot rack. Basically, they're something I designed. That's not the initial part of the display. The initial part of the display is, as we get closer, you'll see I have some mines. And these mines, let me focus back. Spirit of 76 mines. And if you look at the racks, you might recognize what I possibly used. What I did use is the bottom sleeve of your Excalibur tubes, the reinforcement sleeve. And basically they're 5-shot racks. And I have a 5-shot rack here. And then a third one here. And a fourth one over there. And they're set up as the initial display to fire a bank of 4 5 times, so 20 rounds. And then we'll go into this rack, which is 4 racks. Each will be fired individually, 3 shells at a time. And basically what it is I have some ball shells that have a tail on the outers, and the taller tube in the center is an X-Cal with a particular shell like a chrysanthemum. And what it's supposed to resemble is a blooming flower at the top of its burst. We kind of step around these wires and come up to our first cobra. I built these stands, and I drove them into the ground. I have to be careful with them because they're a little tender, but it gets my stand up in the air, because as you look up across the field, you'd see my sister's house. And we bring it in and bring it in and bring it in. There's a little bit of a rise, and there's a rear screened in porch. That's not the brewery. The brewery is on the other side of those hops. And I'll show that to you later. So as we come back around and scan down around, we come down to and focus out and bring it out. After we shoot our flower pots, which is, I know, a term for a low breaking shell, or my blooming flower I like to call it. This is the main body of the show. I have 7 racks here that are fused to go in a row, down and back, and finish with some ring shells. And basically this will last approximately 6.5 to 7 minutes, because it's fused at about 5 seconds between each round, and I have 70 shells in there. Then off to each side we have some cakes that we set up. We're going to hand light these during the body of the main show, or maybe just after it. These are similar type of cakes on either side. And my nephew, who's helped me fire my 4th of July show and helped me set it up, has helped me with this. And yes, we have glued these down with liquid nails. And we come down to the second Cobra on channel 2, and we've set this up also to fire some tubes, which were almost given to me by a fireworks store in New Hampshire. He was quite generous. And these are 300 with one 500 tube that he threw in. And then we get to the finale, and this is two 50-shot racks and a 30-shot rack. The two 50-shot racks, they're designed, as in Dave from Display Fireworks 1 in his videos that I've been, and I don't think I haven't seen one twice that he's put out. I watch them all that I can. That might be a tall claim, but anyway, I've watched a lot of them, Dave. These are pretty much set up to sweep down through. I use slow fuse on these two 50-shot racks, but at the pace, they're 2-foot racks, 30 seconds a foot. I'll have a shell in the air. It'll last about 2 minutes before it hits the 30-shot rack, which is fast fused, and that's just going to sweep right through, and we all know how fast that goes. But that'll be the exclamation point on the whole show. So as you look up across it, and we have some bushy red comets we taped together and did some fast fuse with a single fuse. I had used those at the July 4th show. They're 16-shot cakes, and I couldn't get my hands on any comets. And Spirit of 76, I actually was in Easton, PA to buy from them, and that's where I got the mines. They couldn't get their hands on comets, so I used those, and I actually broke them apart and set them up on boards, secured them, and fast fused them to how I wanted them to fire. This is left over from July 4th, so I taped them all together, and they're all going to go up at once. So that's just basically to burn off some of this year's fireworks that I have left over, and we'll be shutting down, and eventually we'll be coming back online to tape this thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good videos of this. I'm using this camera, and we'll have a GoPro, and we'll see how it comes out. Anyway, thank you, and we'll see you soon.